Um, I'm in a mock-up 8 string CAD. Normally would do a 3 or 4 mil overhang for the fretboard. So I'll be guessing that you mean the end of the fretboard, right? Yeah. I usually go about, let's say that if I would have a 22 fret instrument, the overhang would be pretty much where the 23rd fret would be for me. And then on a 24 fret instrument, the same thing. My basically a 25th fret would then be the end of my fretboard or the overhang. Uh, so even looking at this, we're looking at about 13 millimeters overhang. Or are you talking overhang as in like height wise? Um, if I were to do an 8 string, the thickest string 80 gauge would have 2.5 mil left from the edge of the string to the edge of the fretboard. Edge of the string to the edge of the fretboard, 2.5 mil. That should be normal. It's basically boils down to what you want your string spacing to be. Let's this helps me look at. Yeah, I'd say 2.5 is pretty good in general. Even on 6 string guitars, you'll have about what? Even like upwards of like 3 mil easily overhang, like on the edge of the fretboard to the edge of the string. That's I do that a whole lot. Designing in CAD, of course, it's very easy for you to fix and see what works. My suggestion would be that when you're drawing everything out, have your nut completely accurate and have your bridge completely accurate. Then draw the strings at the accurate gauges that you're going to use, and then you'll have an idea of how much clearance you need on either side. Of course, you want to have about the same amount. Otherwise, it'll look weird if you have 1 millimeter on the treble side and then 3 millimeters on the bass side. It's going to look uneven. But, yeah. Oh no, from the side, edge of the string to the edge of the fretboard side. Yeah. Okay. So it was one question. Okay, I understood. Differently. Normally you do 3 or 4 mil for the fretboard overhang. Okay, in that way, yes, you're correct. 3 or 4 mil. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that has kind of bugged me. I had an 8 string that you'll find out about what happened to my 8 string much later. But in general, because of such a thick string, it also vibrates a whole lot. That's why very often you might see basses with a good bit more overhang on both sides from on the treble and the bass, because the string vibrates a whole lot. So if you only have 2 millimeters and the string vibrates off of that, then you're prone to getting it, hitting the sided fretboard, which is also not ideal. But with CAD, it's very easy for you to just fix up the lines, get your strings correct, and that will basically give you a good idea of where you need to go. Damn. Because what I usually do in general with most things is I'll go and I'll do research on what sizes everything are, what dimensions things are on other instruments. Like I think the Ibanez website actually is pretty good for that. It actually has dimensions for all the different widths of the fretboard and gauges of strengths that they usually use, scale length. So that'll give you a rough idea of how to actually draw everything up a little bit better. Same where it's like if I'm looking at base stuff, I might go into the Dingwall site because they have very accurate dimensions there, and they mention pretty much anything and everything for every model that they have. So it's useful. Just kind of do your research, try out different things, and keep on drawing up until you're satisfied with it. That's kind of what I go for. If it is weird, it'll look weird on paper. In most cases. I don't know if that helped like at all, but I tried. A very lengthy and very tangent-filled explanation as per usual.